Hi everyone, my name is Alana and welcome to my channel 3 Degrees of Love. I have a very special video today for you. So how this came about actually was because I watched a walkthrough video of a very special deck on Lisa Papez's channel, which I will have her information linked down below. And I immediately fell in love and wanted to learn more about it, and that's the Reclaim Oracle by Marion Costentin. And so I went to the creator's Etsy shop and was looking to purchase the deck, however, missed out, and she was sold out. And but she did, and she still does. She's reprinting the deck, second edition, and you can still pre-order the deck. Now I reached out to her just because I was fangirling and stuff like that. And, we got to talking and whatever. And then she agreed to do a video with me, interview video about the deck and the creation of it and everything. So this is what I have for you today. So we're going to get right into it. It's just the raw, unedited, basically video interview that I did with her on Zoom. And I hope you guys love it. It was such an amazing experience for me, and I really enjoyed meeting her. She's a wonderful human being and a wonderful creator. And she's just all around amazing. So I hope you guys enjoy. And as I leave you here now to enjoy the video, please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. I really want us to build this community of like-minded individuals coming together to help one another achieve our individual goals and to be successful in ourselves, in our life, and just live from love, live in love. So on that note, I will see you guys later. All right? Don't forget, live, listen, and learn. Bye. Love you.
Try again.
Yeah.
Oh,
So
yay!
you're recording. Okay.
Awesome.
All right. Awesome. So, hi, Marion. You are the creator of this beautiful deck called Reclaim. Of course, I just recently found out about this deck through Lisa Papez's channel when she, she featured your deck. And right away, I was like, I jumped on. I was like, "Ooh, it's pink and it's black. It's mental health and it's self wellness." I was like, okay, this is awesome. Like, where do I find it? And then as I did the research, I found your Etsy shop and, then started talking to you. And long story short, this is how we ended up here. So, I'm so excited and happy to be, actually talking to you and, having this opportunity to sort of, gain a little bit knowledge on the deck and you as a creator and what inspired you to bring this forth into the world for all of us, right? So if you can maybe start and give us a little bit of a background on yourself and how did you come to this point in your life to be creating such a piece of work of art?
Gosh, yeah. It took a while. I mean, it didn't take a long time to make the deck, but it took me many, many years to get to a point where I could allow myself to make it in the first place. So, I mean, I've been reading cards for maybe 8 or 9 years, and I always had, you know, deck creating in the back of my mind, but I just never thought I could, well, afford it for one, and also just have the guts to just put something out there, you know, for everyone to look at. That was terrifying to me. But I don't know. Like about a year ago, I moved to the U.S. from Europe, and with this whole new life, everything was new. It was a fresh start for me, and I felt like it was my chance to create opportunities where before back in Europe, I didn't really allow myself to. I always felt really stuck. I couldn't find my voice really. I couldn't find my place within art in general, and also within spirituality, because it always felt in between, you know, like I was really, really drawn to all the spiritual things. And, you know, I've had many spiritual experiences, but at the same time, I'm super, super interested in just I don't even like the words. I don't like the word self-help. I don't like self-development. I don't like self-improvement because I like this idea that we're already everything that we're supposed to be. We just haven't really figured out how to be all those things that are already within us. And so when I felt ready last summer to finally make a deck, I looked around and I realized that there was no deck about emotions, at least not the way I like to look at my emotions. Because I like to be very raw, I like to be real, I like to look at all the ugly stuff, because I feel like it's the only way to grow, really. If you don't face your shit, you know, it's just not gonna get better ever.
Absolutely.
And yeah, and it's excruciating. It's really hard to do, but it has to be done. And I wanted to create a tool for that, you know, and that's how I started. My focus was on like shadow work and emotions. I realized it was really missing in our community. Also, I feel like shadow work is becoming more and more popular, and there's a lot of misunderstanding of what it actually is. Even, yeah, people are afraid of their emotions, and I wanted to make something that told them, you know, it's okay to be terrified of the stuff that makes you feel terrible. You know, you should be afraid. Fear is good. Um, yeah, I don't think any sort of change or transformation always stems from a place of fear. You know, if we weren't afraid, if we weren't uncomfortable, if we weren't in pain, we would never have that craving for transformation in the first place, because we would just be content. So yeah, that's pretty much what inspired it.
Awesome. So you said that you've been reading cards for 8 or 9 years. How did you start? Like, how did you get into it? Like, what drew you to doing that?
Um, it started like, I think it was 2012, which is a year where a lot of people awakened. So it happened to me too. I was starting to feel a little bit sick physically, and so I went to this really adorable lady in Paris who does Reiki and like angel card readings, which I'd never heard about before. I thought she was super weird, but you know, I was interested, and she was so sweet, and we had such great conversations. And I went home after seeing her the first time, and she told me to, you know, try and read about angels and try talking to them. And I was like, okay. So I bought a book and I got really into it. And I started having all these dreams and all these, I don't know, I was just feeling so light and supported all of a sudden. And I continued doing research and reading more about all the cool spiritual things. I learned about, you know, the ego, you know, the process that we go through when we start that journey, you know, learning to separate your thoughts from your emotions, and, you know, this identifying with your pain. And so that was great for a while, but something was still missing. And the spiritual experiences continued to multiply. And I mean, I've had spiritual experiences since I was little, but it really, when I was about 18, I started experiencing really crazy stuff, and I had no explanation for that for many, many years. And so I never told anyone about it, about my little visitors, you know. So I guess now I feel less eager to talk about that stuff and more about the work that these beings were trying to make me do by showing up in my life. It's just I didn't get it. I was like, why are you after me? Why are you chasing me? You know, I had entities and all kinds of stuff. It was angels, it was demons, it was spirits, it was just constantly at night, just constantly visitation after visitation. And it was very scary sometimes. And I still didn't get it. They just wanted me to do the work. Yeah, so that took a while. We're getting along much better now.
That's good.
I've done the work finally.
Cool. So awesome. So when would you say was when you sort of had the idea to create this deck?
Mm.
And like what brought you to that?
I knew I didn't want to do a tarot deck because I didn't feel ready for that. I didn't feel like I needed more research needs to go into a tarot deck. I feel like you need to really have this deep understanding of, you know, the all the symbolism and everything. But an oracle felt like a good idea because it's more accessible. You don't need to know the whole system, you know, to approach it.
Mm-hmm.
And I like the idea of working with emotions and from a more of a shadow work, self-exploration type of perspective. And I started writing down like emotions that I would like to put into cards. At first I had like, I don't know, like 40. And then I continued researching them and connecting with my emotion. I realized there was way more. So then I had 66 and now I had 80. And I was like, okay, I need to stop somewhere. This is getting crazy. So I finally settled on 88 because it's my birth year. And I was like, you know, 88 is a great number. So I was like, Marion, stop. That's enough. You can work with that. So
Okay.
I started drawing all the cards and it just kind of happened. It took me 2 months to draw everything, which is really not much. And I was kind of shocked by what was coming out of my head and my hands. You know, I felt very guided throughout the whole process, even though I wasn't having like conversations with spirit guides or anything, but I just felt pushed forward. Like
Mm-hmm.
I felt very like, it was like, I got up in the morning, it was like, go sit down, draw the cards. All day I would be drawing, one card after another. Some days I would draw 10 and it felt easy and it was flowing and I just couldn't believe it. So after a while I figured, well, I think I have something of value here, which is something I'd never really felt. But all my years as an artist, I'd never felt this way. I knew I had something and I knew it had to be out and I knew I couldn't wait. So, yeah.
Awesome. So how long did it take you, would you say? Like I think you were saying to get to this point, it took years, but the process itself took just a few months?
Yeah, just a few months. I think I started in end of July last year. And
So from like draw, like
yeah,
which aspect? Like just the draw?
everything. Just
Okay.
the idea. I had the idea in July and I started drawing right away. And I was done with the cards, I think in September, and I announced it and I launched it on Kickstarter in October and it was funded in November and went into production in December. So it was very fast.
Yeah, no kidding. Um, like it's unbelievable. And the thing is, as soon as it was on Lisa's channel, it like went like literally like hotcakes because
Yes.
you know, of course, you know, I'm one of those people who are just very impressionable as well. And, you know, Lisa is definitely a very bad but great influence on me when it comes to these things, right? And so, like, you know, like as soon as I saw it, like I don't even think I watched it all the way through, and already I was like on the computer and I was looking, right? And then as soon as I saw it, I was like, okay, great, yeah, like I'm gonna get it. But then I'm like, oh crap, I gotta wait because I still don't have the money for it. So I'm like, okay. So I already like started putting it in my cart, and I was doing all of this. And then all of a sudden, I'm like, every day I'm on Etsy and I'm checking back, right? And because I even put like the little the zine that you created
Yeah.
for shadow work, I even put that in my cart. And then all of a sudden, as I'm checking every day, I go back and it's like the zine is sold out. I'm like, what? Like I just was like flipping out. So that's how I ended up reaching out to you, and we started talking, and this is that's how it all started. And sort of led me to here. So I'm still very much excited for this deck. And now that, you mentioned that you're doing pre-orders again because, as the first batch is sold out, like, and you're making improvements. I was like, even though you suggested I could go to other places to find it, I'm like, you know what? No, I'm just going to wait. I need to wait for the new and improved version of this deck. So, so that said, like, but again, if I'm still on, still at Etsy, and I'm still seeing it as I, look and explore other things, and I'm like, yep, that deck is gonna be in my collection. And I was like, is it done yet? Is it done? Is the next batch?
Oh my gosh, I wish it was. I mean, had I known it would just go so fast, I would have made more, or I would have just started the process sooner. But Lisa posted the video and I sold the last 100 in a day. So it was
Like,
just, that's why I sent her a gift. Like, thank you so much.
yeah, and it's just crazy because, like, like, and if the thing is, so for me, to give you a little bit of my background, I'm a social worker. I've been in the field for, a good 15 plus years, right? On and off, and in different aspects of the field, right? Like I've worked with developmental, I've worked with clients that have brain injuries, and children and families and things like that, right? And and then even with my own personal struggles, I've had to learn how to navigate and do all of these things, and and stuff like that. And I've always been a spiritual person, but I come from a very like Christian background, Roman Catholic to start, in my upbringing, and within my family there has always been a lot of Christianity's been a big thing, but various different denominations within Christianity, right? So, and for me, that whole journey and that struggle with, sort of what is right and what is wrong, because every different denomination has their own rules and things like that. And I've grown up and I've seen hypocrisy, and I've seen people who, even to date, who talk about all about Christianity and their Christian faith, and if you don't accept God as your savior and get baptized, then you're not going to go to heaven, and all of this stuff. Meanwhile, there's some of the worst people out there that can hide behind the label of Christianity, right? And so that has been one of the toughest things for me, and the struggles that, like, I'm like, something along the is something there is disconnected, and it's not right. And I guess I've always had this belief and like knowing that there's something higher out there, knowledge that's higher out there. And how I describe it is like, think of like a glass ceiling, and you can see through it, and there's something there, but you can't access it, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like throughout my whole life, that's pretty much what I feel it's been for me. My spirituality has really been for me. And it's not until more recent years, that I've, then, started exploring, further things, and, and the different aspects of spirituality, and tarot has come into play, and cards. And I mean, I've always had a love of cards. I collected playing cards throughout my entire life. But, in regards to divination and things like that, that didn't really come about until maybe a few years ago, and really took off, when I found Lisa's channel, right? So, you know, and then subsequently other people, you know, along the way. And I would say 2020 for me has really been the like the, you know, like the blinding headlights into everything sort of, you know, speak, you know, being stuck at home and, you know, and just within my thoughts, you know, YouTube and watching, you know, all these different people that are into tarot and things like that. So, you know, and so I've then you know, come to the thing, well, wait a second. I know that I've always known that I was called to something greater than myself. I've known that I've, you know, this need to help others and bring forth love and healing and all of that stuff. But I don't think I really came into that fully comprehension until more recently. And, you know, and wanting now to combine my professional and my professional experience, my education, you know, and my personal experience, and sort of, you know, combining that with spirituality. I mean, I did have an idea of that a few years ago where I wanted to open a resource center, but then, you know, it lack of funding and stuff like that, it, you know, it didn't really get off the ground, and I had to put that project on sort of like the back burner, so to speak. And it was a good thing because there's no way I would have survived COVID, right? If I had a place and having to pay business rent and all of that stuff, there's no way I would have survived COVID. So, you know, my angels, my guardian angels were looking out for me in that sense. They just knew that, yes, that goal, you're on the right track, but that's not quite the way in yet, right? So, and then, you know, and then the whole idea, you know, again, through, like, Lisa has been a really big part of the inspiration for me, watching her videos and reading her book. And when she launched her book, you know, Walking the Self-Work Path, you know, it was like that was it for me. And I was like, yep, okay, I know exactly what I need to do and what I'm going to be doing now, and, you know, and how to get started. And that's, you know, just, you know, starting a YouTube channel was definitely for me. So of course, once I saw your deck and I realized that, you know what, you're combining, and I even read your little sort of about me synopsis on, you know, the creation of this deck and what you had hoped to achieve with it. And I was like, you're combining mental health with spirituality. That's exactly what I'm trying to do, and practice. And so right away I fell in love, and I'm like, yes, this is definitely has to be a part of my practice, and, you know, both professionally and personally. And so it was like, and also, you know, and then from there I was like, yes, I have to meet you, and I have to talk to you, and I need to pick your brain, and I need to know more about you, right? So, you know, and then of course, as much as I'm curious, I figured I'm sure there are going to be other people who are curious too, right? Like the fact that so many people fell in love with your deck, and, you know, I was like, if I could get this video out, you know, I'm sure that a lot of people are going to want to see it, right? And you know, and I just, there's, for me, I take pride in others when, you know, they're the advocacy and the promoting their you know, their work and their self, and, you know, when you're doing good, and I so want to support that. So, you know, as soon as I, you know, again, I heard about your deck, and I was like, no, she needs to be more known than this. So if I can have a hand in that, I'm totally gonna be for it, right? So, you know, and you know, and then of course, you know, I started exploring other people too, that I was like, you know, there's other decks out there that I'm like, that, you know, are aligning with, you know, this whole vision that I have. And I'm like, you know, like, okay, so yes, this is now I get it. I'm on the right track. I'm on the
Mhm.
right path, right? Because
Yeah.
it's I'm being met along the way with all these wonderful people, and I'm like, it's just confirmation that I'm headed in the right direction. And so,
Exactly.
so thank you so much for, taking the time to do this. And, like I told you, like that the day when you finally agreed and you wanted to do it like in a couple of days. And I was like, oh, okay. Literally, I kid you not. I was dancing around with my Palo Santos burning it. I'm like, woohoo! Like I'm just like, yeah, I was it was totally it was so fun, and that has kept me going this week because
Yeah.
it's been a rough week for me, personally, with my dad in the hospital with Alzheimer's and things like
Sorry.
that. And and just trying to, with COVID, and trying not being able to see him and talk to him really so much. I am trying to talk to him, but even just seeing him and not being able to visit him and things like that, right? So it's been a difficult process, but I held on to the fact that I have this good thing coming up, and I was gonna get to meet you and talk about this wonderful deck that you made, and just that was a light that I held on to this week for me. And
Oh,
I am
that's
so
sweet.
so excited and so happy, despite all the little uh technological sort of struggle towards the beginning. But I'm just, yeah, like I'm so excited. Like you have no idea. Like this is just totally making my day and probably gonna make my weekend. And who knows?
Oh my
I'll,
gosh.
I'll ride on this high. So yeah. Um, so actually, what I wanted to ask as well is, um, so what, like when you created this deck, what are ways that you saw the use for it? Like, um, like, what are your recommendations for the use, and how do you envision people using your
Yeah.
deck?
Huh. Well, different ways. Actually, I feel like it's turning out to be kind of a different kind of oracle, and I think that's why I think it really fits like therapy work, or I think it'll work like the kind of work that you do, because I don't really see it fully as a typical like divination type deck. I feel like it's more of it is something that you use when you want to do some work, and so I can see.
Like a deep dive into self, right?
Yeah, or yeah, I can there's just I feel like there's just so many applications, because of course you can use it as a just a classic reading. It's also really great to complement a reading that you used that you did with another deck. Like it's great, it's a great complement for a tarot reading. I found that it brings a lot of depth, especially when you want to look into the emotions underneath. I think it's great also as a daily practice, pulling one card in the morning, and this is the emotion that you're going to be working with throughout the day. Say you pull the shame card, well, you make a mental note to throughout the day take notice of the little moment that you feel shame, and have developing this awareness of your emotion, and every day a different emotion until you have a more you're just more mindful. And I feel like a lot of us are lost because we've kind of forgot how to feel, and we don't know how to identify our emotions in the first place. And so having this practice of relearning how to feel, how we truly feel, and connecting deeply with our bodies, with where we feel the emotion in the body, the thoughts that trigger them, that's such a healthy practice that can really make a difference. And I've actually got messages from several therapists or social workers like you who have been using the deck at work and are finding it really useful. And that's just perfect, because that's exactly what I wanted to happen without even me mentioning it. So I've been really blown away by the response. Yeah, I'm still blown away. I just it's been really crazy. And honestly, I'm just so glad that I went through with it. It's the first time that I have an idea and I see it through. Nothing ever stuck before. And this one time I believed in it and I made it happen, and I'm so glad I did. I guess I was just
You
meant
know what? We're so glad you did too.
to.
So thank you. Um, so is this your like your first project? Like, what like do you have anything else on the go, or what are like future plans? Because
Yeah.
I know I saw because I've been shamefully stalking your website and stuff like that. So I've also seen that you're in addition to the zine, you have a journal coming out as well,
Yeah.
right? That's to go hand in hand with the deck.
Yeah.
So do you want to talk a little bit more about that, or do you want to save that as like a surprise? Like
No, I can
maybe
talk
give us
about
a
it.
little bit of a preview as to what
Yeah.
to expect from the journal.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, yeah, I can talk about the journal. It's gonna come out in a few months, I think. It's just because when I was making the deck, I realized it would people might need some things, some kind of platform or a medium to just work through all that stuff, because the deck is heavy.
Yeah.
It's loaded, and it's not easy. And that's why I tell people in the guidebook that they can remove a card that hurts them, because if you're not ready to look at something, it's okay. Just put it aside.
Yeah.
That's very important to me. And the journal, it was inspired by the deck, but it's like to me, it works more like an art therapy journal. So it repeats the same emotions as in the cards, but each emotion has a double page, and on the left page you have writing prompts that are here to help you connect with the emotion. So the first one is the last time I felt it was da 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 da. Then you have
Yeah.
the first time I felt it was, and that's difficult because you have to like go back in time and try to remember your first experience of that. So you're going to bring back a memory and you're going to describe that. And then the third one is it feels like, and then you have to describe how it feels physically in your body. Is it cold? Is it warm? Does it hurt? Is it pleasant? Is it, describe it like that. Then there's a little outline of the body. You have to color where you feel the emotion. There's a pain scale also, where you make a little mark, say how painful it is. You have to say how often you feel it. So really just connect it and place it in your body and have a kind of a conversation with it. And then on the right page, it says it looks like, and you have a whole blank page to do whatever you want. You can write, you can paint, you can draw, you can do a collage, just to express how the emotion looks to you, what it, express that feeling in a visual way. So I felt like it would be a good way to continue further down that practice of emotional healing. Um, so it's a 200-page journal. There's also some blank pages at the end to add your own emotions that are not necessarily in the book. And I want people to use it like, I don't want it to be a chore, because sometimes people feel like, oh, I got this journal, so I really have to journal each day at the same time. I have to be good with it. Well,
Mhm.
that kind of, it doesn't make sense to me. I have a journal. I haven't written it in 6 months. And I don't want people to feel bad for skipping a week or a month or a year.
Mhm.
They can have this journal for their whole lives. They don't have to fill it in, it's fast, it's a process. And especially when you're working with emotions throughout your lives, they're going to shift too. And they shift with your story. And yeah, it's important that people take their time. But I just really wanted to put something more into their hands for those who wanted to take it a little further and have a bit of have a tool, like a tangible tool to like, have their hands on and like just put words on what they felt. I think it could help a lot of people. So yeah.
Absolutely. So now I want to ask, okay, because whole thing, the deck, the journal, it just, I mean, the zine, everything just seems so, like, as you said, it's heavy, it's very in depth.
Mm.
How did you come up with all of this? Like, do you have an educational background in whether it be psychotherapy or
I
social work or psychology? Like, because
no, oh my gosh,
honestly,
no.
it really, as I'm listening to you and I'm thinking, wow, like she had to have studied and something, therapy, something, because it's so, you know what I mean? Like, it's so good and it's so in depth, and just the whole concept, like the fact that as you said, you had social workers and things like that, and therapists reach out to you and say that they're using it. If they're using it in their practice, it's because it's of some sort of quality for them to be able to use it, right? Like,
Yeah.
so how
Um,
did you come up with it? Like,
okay. Well, I actually didn't go to school after high school. So I just have a high school diploma. I got kicked out of art school when I was 18 years old and I never went back to a classroom. So I'm pretty much self-taught in everything. I just, when I started feeling all these things, becoming more aware of what was out there, like back in 2012, I did like you. I went to YouTube and I watched a lot of YouTube video from like spiritual leaders and things like that. And I read some books and it just really spoke to me and I found it easy to absorb. And I felt like it felt really easy for me to understand. I don't know, just natural. I was just so drawn to it. And I love talking to people about it. Like, I like to listen to people. Actually, when I was a kid, I wanted to be a therapist. And decided I want to be an
no
artist.
kidding.
So now, I guess now I'm doing both.
Right?
It's perfect. So I guess all my passions are coming together, which is nice because for a while I was really very lost and confused. So I'm glad to see that finally it's starting to make sense for me. And yeah, I mean, I don't know. Oh, wow. Actually, yeah, maybe I should mention. So spirituality helped me for a while, but I had mental health issues for a long time that I didn't address until way later in my life. And I was actually only until I was recently diagnosed with borderline personality disorder, uh,
Okay.
also called emotional dysregulation disorder, which means I experience my emotions very intensely. So you see the connection there.
Yeah,
um,
yeah.
I think I think that diagnosis after the Reclaim was out, I was like, wait a minute, that's why. Okay, I just feel my emotions really intensely, and I like to notice them and identify them and see the difference between this one and this one, even when they seem the same, they're not. Um, and I guess that's why I just have a sensitivity to those things because I feel them so intensely. And even as a little kid, I was very, very quiet, very shy, but very sensitive already. And yeah, it's, I don't know, it just kind of happened.
Oh my gosh, like your story is so amazing. Like, I'm just yeah, I'm in total awe of you. Like, like, so, like, and again, I'm speaking from the aspect of, like social work and stuff like
Mm,
that, right? Like, so even in, like in, with psychiatry and psychology, social work, whatever, there's different methods of practice when it comes to, working through, mental health, and, like, there's cognitive behavioral therapy and things like that, and methods of practice, and with CBD, that is the way you're describing the aspect of the journal and stuff like that. As I'm listening to you talk about it, here I am, I'm like, okay, so
mm,
it's a cross between, cognitive behavioral therapy approach with art therapy, and it's like, Wow. Like, and then for you to say, well, no, I don't have a further education in high school, and I just somehow magically created this deck. Like, it's like,
It was, oh no, trust
where
me,
the heck did that come
it took
from?
I mean, it took 15 years to get to that point, 15 painful years, 15 years of
Yeah.
completely lost and not able to make anything happen, and just, yeah, so yeah,
And
it
you know
took
what?
a while.
It just comes to show that how, like, it's not even just, sometimes the best teachers are those who experience things firsthand. It's
Yeah.
not even just a matter of, being taught in school. Like, I
Oh yeah.
mean, education is important, yes. And I would probably always be, one to, support, further learning and exploration and all of that. Like, I love learning, right? Like, that's,
Yeah.
that I'm drawn to. Not so much, mm, drawn to the
Yeah.
structure of school and
Oh
things like
god.
that, but learning and knowledge and seeking that and
Yeah.
opening your mind and expanding everything, that is what I'm all about, right?
Yeah.
And so the fact that, like, just your thirst for just knowledge, like, self education, like, you know what I mean, like, out of that came
Yeah.
this.
Well,
It's
I have this thing where I have to do everything myself or it's worthless. It's not a great trait. Um, but yeah, I feel like if I have to learn something, I have to learn it on my own. I have to find it, on my own. It can't be someone showing me the way. I have to get there of my
Yeah.
own doing. I don't know why, but it's a little annoying sometimes because of course that's why I got kicked out of school. And we never went back. I'm also very impatient, so I don't know, I just couldn't do it. I actually worked as a nanny for years and years, so I was around children a lot, and I was really good at that, and I'm very comfortable around children. Adults not so much. Children, yes, they speak to my soul. Like, we understand each other because I'm so in touch with my inner child. I think it's easy for me to, to be around them and be at the same time be this supportive presence, because I'm an adult, but I have a child in me. So
Well, we all do.
actually,
Some people
yeah,
tend to forget
yes,
theirs, but you
actually,
know,
yeah,
but
oops, sorry.
it's that's okay. That's okay. No, just I'm just saying, like, some people tend to forget theirs, but you can't. It's important, right?
It's in
Like,
there always.
yeah, and you need to nurture that. So
Yes, yes.
embrace that. Yeah.
Well, reclaim. Well, the cards were no, the cards too. The guidebook was written in the perspective of my inner child, and also as a message to my inner child. So it goes both ways. It's like this, like, multidimensional thing. Um, so yeah, for the cards, I used more of my adult experience, but for the booklet, I used my inner child's experience, and I try to combine them both. Uh, when I had a hard time connecting with an emotion, I would try to think of someone in my life who may have had a good experience with that emotion, and I would connect with their story, and then the card would appear in my mind, and I was able to draw it. Um, so it's not just my story in the cards; it's also a lot of people from, my family or my friends. Um, and well, apparently people seem to relate to the cards, so I'm glad, because I was worried about that. It's definitely taught me that I'm really not alone, like, ever. It's
Oh,
making me realize how connected we are, like, more than I could imagine.
yeah,
Oh,
absolutely.
it's
I'm definitely learning that too. Like,
yeah,
it's just, man, it, mm,
I
as
know.
and it's funny because as much as we're connected, we're also disconnected, right? because you have a lot of people who, you know, like this whole idea of seeking revenge, and you know, and it's crazy. Like you know, like, so you did me wrong, so I'm gonna do you wrong, and then,
Yeah.
you know what I mean, and then it just multiplies, and then you're stuck in this vicious karmic cycle that lasts generations and things like that, right? And you would think that somehow we would get it.
Nope.
Yet many of us are, oh no, we're still, you know.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, like, you know, things like your deck and just, you know, it's just solid reminder of how connected we are, and how, you know, and how we, you know, need to work together, you know, to achieve something, you know, greater for all of us.
Yeah.
And you know, your deck is amazing.
Thank you so much.
Can't wait to own it. I so can't wait. But yeah, so tell me, what future project do you think that you might be thinking about next? And you know, are you is there going to are you looking to expand Reclaim?
Uh, at the moment, no, but I don't know. I'm starting to realize that it's gonna get bigger than me really, really quickly. It's just I'm just kind of letting it do its thing, see
Sorry
what
to say, it
happens.
already has,
And
but
yeah, I'm curious to see what's gonna happen with it. I'm really excited. You know, I have to order. Oh, I'm ordering now. Like a new batch is going into production in a few days, and I had to double my initial order because I just didn't think I'd get so many pre-orders already. But it's amazing. I'm really excited. But then there will be the journal, and now I'm also starting to do research for a tarot deck, but it will be a different thing. Uh,
yay.
Yay. I want to explore in that tarot deck. I want to explore the connections between the divine masculine and the divine feminine, and sort of bring them together in harmony, because I think we need that right now. So
Yes, absolutely.
yeah.
Absolutely. That is awesome.
Mm.
That is so awesome. So actually, I'm wondering, I don't know if you have the deck like handily available, but would you be willing to like
Let me see.
show how it
Oh yeah, I
works?
think
Pull a
I
few
have one right
cards for
here.
me and the collective. Yay!
You know, I've actually barely used it myself. I'm just terrified of it. It just terrifies me. I mean,
Really?
for myself, I can't. It's like it's too close to me. I'm terrified. I know how much of me I put in it, and it's just it. I can't even. Yeah, I haven't been able to even read for myself or anything. It's crazy. It's just too much. I'll pull like one card at a time. I can't do more yet.
Yeah.
I'll get there. I'll get there. But wow.
This is exciting. Oh my God, the deck is just, it's beautiful.
Ooh, this one is to pop out. Oh, patience.
Oh my God.
What?
I've been hearing that way too much.
Well, there you go. It's confirmation.
Like, I know that's my lesson to learn, but Jesus, like, can you?
I love patience. It's something I've had to learn, definitely. I mean, I feel like patience has more to do with trust than anything else, you know.
Yeah, absolutely.
Trusting that it will work out. Just you don't have to know right now exactly how. You don't even have to know how at all. Just it's fine. Just relax. It's going to be okay. Just you believing that it will be, that helps a lot, because it's just you can't, you know, when you don't have control over a situation, worrying about it is not going to make any difference, you know. So the best you can do, well, you do your part, you do what you can do, and the rest you just have to leave it to faith, and and to the universe to meet you halfway. That's what they say. Because I feel like when you trust, you open the space for all those things that you want to actually come to you. You make room for them. Because if you don't trust that they can come, then they can't see you. You're behind a wall. So when you're patient, you're basically saying, well, I don't have you now, or I don't know this now, but I will someday. Whatever, that's fine. And all of a sudden it's right in front of you and you're like, what? That's just how it is. It's very annoying, but that's just how it is. It's something I've learned.
It's funny. I was just talking to my mom this morning, like, because telling her just everything that's been going on with my dad, and and the fact that working towards long-term care, and and he's in the hospital right now, and it's like, I just want him to be secure, right? And it's like, and she's like, but it's, and my mom is like, but it's coming together. So why are you so worried about, this, you can't control that. It's already done. Just, right? And that's like the constant sort of reminder that I'm getting, not just from my mom, but like from the universe, of course, and when I watch, because I tend to watch, the general readings on YouTube, because of course I'm home, and we're in another stay-at-home order again where I live, and so of course, what else is there to do but watch TV all day, and then I'll watch YouTube videos, and that's the same message I keep getting: patience.
I feel like when we feel impatient, very often is because we're under the impression that we haven't done enough. But if you can tell yourself, okay, I've done everything I can, it's okay, then you can be at peace with yourself and you'll feel more patient as a result. So if you can find that place where you're like, okay, this is like the best I can do, I've done it, I've done my part, I just trust that everyone else will do theirs and it'll come together, But that's hard. It's hard. Yeah, for sure.
It really is. And, and I think for me, it's even more difficult because I feel like my whole entire life, I've sort of been programmed and taught that I'm never, I'm not doing enough. My efforts aren't good enough, right? So I'm sort of conditioned that way, even now, right? That like, like there's something more that I have to do, right? And then it's like when things don't work out, and as things haven't, I feel, and, for several years of my life, everything has sort of been out of my control, which is how I'm OCD, and, and I literally been diagnosed with, being OCD and suffer from anxiety and depression, like a lot of the world, right? And so, and I don't sleep, my brain doesn't shut off. And, so, and that is the one thing that I know is a lesson that I have to learn. One thing that I know, because I internally know that, but also because the messages I get on a daily basis, whether it be from you, Ethan, and pulling a card for me, stating that exact thing, and, and even the messages from before, right? So it's, I know, but at the same time, my inner child is just, she's just very impatient, and she just like, she wants what she wants, and she wants it like right now, and like yesterday, and why isn't it there yet? And so,
well, you should talk
she's
to
a
her.
little hard to control.
Talk to her. Have a little conversation with her. Listen to her. See what she has to say. Why is she impatient? What's going on?
Absolutely. So, but yeah, like, oh my God, thank you so much. That was really, really awesome.
Thank you.
So, are you planning on, like, because I know I did ask you about, any plans to expand on Reclaim. Actually, how did you come up with that name? After you were done, did you know already that that's what you wanted to name it, or how did it come after?
It came pretty early on. Yeah, it's one of the first things that I figured out. It was all based on the idea that, you know, it says on the box, it says, what if you were always whole? Because you are. It's just that you can't remember it. You can't see it. But those little parts of you that are hiding, they're in there. You know, they might feel out of reach, but you can reclaim them. You can, you know,
Yeah.
claim them as a part of you again. And I think that's pretty much the focus of the deck. I think it's something that I really value because I've really experienced it, and I want to share that. I think, yeah, this type of work is really important. And honestly, I feel like also the timing for Reclaim is pretty perfect because this whole past year, you know, we were like, the whole world was forced into introspection.
Hmm.
And
We
a
still
lot of
are,
us, yeah, a
unfortunately.
lot of us were deprived of all the things that we do to keep ourselves distracted from our feelings. And all of a sudden, we didn't have those distractions. We're just with ourselves and with our emotions. And it was like,
Right?
what do I do with this? It was just too much and it was painful. And um, I feel like a lot of people started seeking, you know, online therapy and alternative, you know, practices and approaches to self-soothe and find answers. Why do I feel this way? So uncomfortable. People who never experienced anxiety before felt super anxious all of a sudden. Same with
Mhm.
depression, same with, you know, loneliness. And that's really hard. We're a social species. You
And
know,
imagine
we need
if you are
connection.
already aware sufferer of those things. You just
Yes.
it's the
Yeah.
whole, you know, pandemic has just heightened that
Yeah.
to
Yeah. I mean, I have chronic anxiety, and I it was crazy. Although I am a huge loner, so I didn't mind being, you know, isolated from the
me
world.
too.
Part of me was
I
like,
grew
yay, I
until
don't
I
have to
was
go out.
15. I grew up as an only child, so I
Mm,
was already trained from very young how to
yeah.
self-soothe, you
Yes.
know, how to self-entertain. So, you know, it was being stuck inside was, you know, it was, oh, it's nothing because I'm pretty much inside most of the
Yeah.
time anyways. The only thing is that I feel like the control of my freedom was taken away, you know, because it's like when I do feel like I want to go outside and I want to go somewhere, well, oh yeah, you can't because we're in the middle of the pandemic.
Yeah.
Oh, well, you know, other than that, yeah, like, you know, oh man. So yeah, but super awesome. You know what? This I again I can't stress this enough. This opportunity to be able to discuss the deck with you, to discuss you and how you managed to come across such a masterpiece is just I'm blown away and I'm
Oh.
so happy. Like I said, you really made you really made it for me. Like my inner child is like jumping for joy and she's like, woohoo,
Yay.
like so actually speaking of which she did want me to ask, you know, my inner child is like, are you when you do any, like, you know, future prints runs of the deck, are you planning to, you know, do it in different colors? Like, are we gonna maybe see a blue and black deck
I
or
don't know. I
purple
don't
and
know.
black?
You know, color was that was a difficult for me to figure out. It took well, I knew I wanted to be like two colors, but in the beginning I couldn't figure out which colors I should use. I tried different things, but then I figured I'll just use my two favorite colors, you know?
Well, there
And
you go.
I think, yeah, and I really like them together. I think they look really, really nice. Um, yeah, it's a very like deep black and this like soft pink, like, you know, like rose quartz. That's why I picked this color, this particular rose, because I like the properties of rose quartz. It's a very soothing, healing crystal for the emotions. So I wanted to bring that into the whole symbolism. And of course, wow, here the color black, it's all the stuff that we don't know. But that's in us.
Yeah.
and it's the shadow, it's whatever you want to call it. And I wanted to celebrate that. I want to celebrate that, and because all of a sudden, it's black, but it's just so, I don't know, it's just so there. That's, it's just so pretty, so
It
pretty.
is pretty. It is very pretty. It's very beautiful. And, like, I just, and, actually, again, kind of, bringing Lisa back into it, when on her live last night, one of the gifts that she was opening was she received this stone. It was I don't recall what it's called, but a speckled black and pink stone. And the
Ooh, I've
first
seen that before.
and the first my first thought was, oh my god, it matches the reclaim deck. That's exactly
Yeah.
what I want,
That would,
right?
that,
And
that,
so
that, that would be great together.
yeah, like, so yeah, like that was like the first thought. See, I'm telling you, this is how amazing the deck is, because it's in my mind and it comes up every so often. So like,
It
even
would be
another,
cute in baby blue, maybe like a really soft pastel blue. That would be cute.
yeah, it would be. So, and yeah, like, you did an amazing job. You really did.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Very welcome. Well, thank you for creating the deck. Yeah, and and I can't wait for everybody else to see this. And it was actually really difficult last night too, because while I was on the video, and you know I think we were just talking about people and inspirations and things like that. And then when your name came up, I was like, I wanted to be like, oh my god. So I wanted to like spill the beans and tell a secret. Well, guess what I'm doing tomorrow? And I'm like, no, calm down. Let's actually have it in the bag. Let's do the video first, and then
Yeah,
like, before, don't jinx it. So I was like, okay, but it was really difficult, because
I bet.
I just wanted to scream from the mountains, like, guess what's happening? Like, you're gonna get, like, this amazing. I have such a big surprise for everyone. But this has been amazing. It's been totally amazing. And maybe, if you do decide to do another run of the deck and change things up a little bit, maybe you could have like a unicorn themed gilding
I
engine.
could.
Just saying now,
Yeah,
just
yeah. I have to think about all that.
But yeah, this is awesome. I really can't wait. Like, and so the journal, is it gonna be like a typical book, or is it gonna have like a ribbon marker? Is it like a
Oh wait,
special
let me
hardbound
show you.
book?
I have a sample.
Okay.
Wait, which one is that? Oh yeah, that's the one. So it's not gonna be pink. It's gonna be a black linen hardcover, but my sample is pink. It's pretty big, you know.
Wow,
So
that looks awesome.
yeah. Whoop. Wait. So I have I have a little intro, to emotional healing and how to use the journal and stuff, just to walk people through it in the beginning. And then I also tell you how to use the pages, the following pages. And then you got to do your thing. And that's how
Um,
it looks. So that's why I was telling you earlier. So
yeah,
the last time I felt it, the first time I felt it, it feels like this is where you color where you feel it, the pain scale, how often
that's
you feel it.
beautiful.
And this is the blank page where you can go crazy. And it takes it repeats the same emotions as you have in the deck. So you can use it with the deck, but it's really not necessary to have the deck to use it at all. I know a lot of people don't care about cards, so maybe that's better for them. Yeah, but I think it'll be fun. I can't wait.
I can't wait either. But I'll
It's
tell you
all,
right now,
it's
the
gonna
book
have
is too
it's
pretty.
It's gonna have black edges like the cards too. It's gonna be all black with a pink ribbon bookmark.
Wow. Just so you know, that book is going to be too pretty, so I'm not even going to write in it. What I'm going to end up doing is just having a separate, like, dollar store book that I'm just going to, like, copy things down because I would want to keep that in pristine condition.
No, you have to make a mess with it.
Well, then I'll have to get two
Okay.
then. That's what will have to end up happening. So,
Yeah.
well, this was awesome. Thank you so much for,
Thank you so much.
taking the time to do this. And, I think I started saying goodbye a few times already, but then Christmas still kept coming up. But yeah, but this was amazing. And, I really, oh my God, I look forward to whatever projects that you have in the future. And
Oh, I want to make children's books too.
nice.
I have all kinds of things I want to do.
Well, yeah, you know what? And you do it. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Like you can dream it, you can do it.
Yeah,
So
that's what this whole adventure taught me. Just don't hold back. There's no time to waste. Just freaking do it.
exactly.
And it's funny because it's something that people used to tell me and I was like, nah, no, I need this or that before I can get started. I was always waiting for the perfect moment. And well, I ended up making this when I was completely broke without a job. I just had all the time in the world and some ideas. And well, there you go. This happened. So
Awesome. Well, this is amazing. You're amazing. And yep. Yep.
thank you so
Thank you
much.
so much. Thank you so much. Well, you know what? I hope that you enjoy the rest of your day and, and the weekend and whatever. And hopefully we'll be in touch again soon.
Yes,
And
for sure.
yeah, absolutely. Because this was truly amazing. And I'm so happy for this. So thank you so much for,
Thank you, Alana. Thank you
agreeing
so
to do
much.
this. So,
Yeah.
and it was definitely really wonderful. So sending you lots of love and
You too. My love to your dad too.
thank you. Absolutely. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. And, we'll be in touch.
Yeah, for
All
sure.
right.
Yeah.
So thank you for, doing this with me and, being a part of the start of my new channel, which is actually 3 Degrees of Love, by the way. That's what I'm calling it. And, and just continue to, like, the 3 elements of love that I see it is, live, listen, and learn. So,
Oh, I like that. I was just gonna ask you what were the 3 degrees of love, and you just said it.
yeah.
I like
So,
that one.
yeah. So, yeah. And, just keep being beautiful and wonderful. And can't wait to see what else you come up with. So, thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
All right. Take care.
Bye bye.
Bye.